They gave me a crazy man to marry. I, Amaka, thought I had found my perfect match in Ikenna, a handsome and charming man from a respected family. Our families had arranged our marriage when we were both nearing our 30th birthdays. The union was meant to strengthen ties between our families and secure a prosperous future for us. But little did I know my dream marriage would soon turn into a living nightmare. It started on a sunny afternoon 2 months into our marriage. Ikenna and I were at the bustling market, haggling over prices and laughing together like newlyweds do. Suddenly, without warning, Ikenna handed me our shopping bag and began to undress. I stood frozen in shock as he stripped down to his underwear, his eyes gleaming with a wild intensity. Ikenna, what are you doing? I screamed, trying to grab his arm, but he shook me off and took off running, weaving through the crowded market stalls. I chased after him, my heart racing with fear. People started pointing and whispering as we passed by. Somehow, we managed to corner him near the market entrance. Ikenna's chest heaved with exhaustion, his eyes darting wildly around us. I pleaded with him to calm down, but he just muttered incoherently. That's when I called his mother, Mama Nkechi. Her voice was calm and collected, but laced with a hint of concern. Amaka, has Ikenna been taking his medicine? She asked. Medicine? What medicine? I thought. Confusion etched on my face. Mama Nkechi instructed me to check Ikenna's bag. That was when I found two boxes of pills, neatly wrapped and labeled. I felt a shiver run down my spine. With Mama Nkechi's guidance, I coerced Ikenna into taking his medication. Slowly, his agitation subsided, replaced by a glassy-eyed calmness. As we walked back home, Ikenna's words sent chills down my spine. I'm sorry, Amaka. I forgot to take my medicine for 2 days. It's happening again. Happening again? What did it mean? I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare with no escape. Mama Nkechi's words, spoken later that evening, only added to my unease. Ikenna has been struggling with mental illness for years, Amaka. We thought he was getting better. But, but what? But they gave me a crazy man to marry? I felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over me. Now, as I sit here trying to process the events of the past 2 days, I'm consumed by fear and uncertainty. Can I really trust Ikenna? Will he ever be truly well? And what does the future hold for us? I'm lost and I don't know which way to turn. As the days passed, I struggled to come to terms with Ikenna's condition. I felt like I was living with a stranger, never knowing when he would have another episode. The medication seemed to help, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking on eggshells, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Mama Nkechi tried to reassure me, explaining that Ikenna's illness was not his fault, that he was doing the best he could. But I couldn't help feeling resentful, wondering why they had kept the secret from me. Why didn't you tell me? I asked Mama Nkechi one day, my voice shaking with emotion. Why did you let me marry him without knowing the truth? Mama Nkechi looked at me with tears in her eyes. We thought he was getting better, Amaka. We really did, and we didn't want to lose you. You are a good woman, and we knew Ikenna needed someone like you to take care of him. I felt a pang of guilt, knowing that Mama Nkechi was right. I had grown to care for Ikenna despite his illness, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I had been deceived, that my marriage was not what I had thought it was. As the weeks turned into months, I found myself becoming more withdrawn. I stopped going to the market, stopped socializing with friends. I felt like I was living in a bubble, trapped in a marriage that I didn't fully understand. Ikenna, sensing my withdrawal, tried to reach out to me. He would take my hand, look into my eyes, and tell me that he loved me, that he was sorry for what I was going through. But I couldn't bring myself to respond, to tell him that I loved him too. I felt like I was losing myself, like I was drowning in a sea of uncertainty, and I didn't know how to keep my head above water. One day, as I was sitting in our living room, staring blankly at the wall, I heard a knock at the door. It was my best friend, Neoma. Amaka, what's going on? She asked, concern etched on her face. I've been trying to reach you for weeks, but you haven't been responding to my calls or messages. I looked at her, feeling a lump form in my throat. I didn't know where to start, how to explain the chaos that had become my life. But as I looked into Norma's eyes, I knew that I had to tell her the truth. I had to share my secrets, my fears, and my doubts. And so I began to talk, to pour out my heart to my dear friend. And as I spoke, I felt the weight lift off my shoulders, felt a sense of freedom that I had not felt in months. But little did I know, my journey was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. As I finished sharing my story with Neoma, she listened intently, her expression a mix of shock, concern, and empathy. When I finally fell silent, she took a deep breath and spoke. Amaka, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I had no idea, but I'm here for you, and I will support you no matter what. Her words brought tears to my eyes, and I felt a sense of gratitude towards my friend. Nelma had always been there for me, and I knew I could count on her. What can I do? She asked, determination etched on her face. How can I help you navigate this situation? I thought for a moment before responding. I need to know more about Ikenna's illness. I need to understand what's going on and how to support him. Nelma nodded. I will help you research and find resources. We'll get through this together. With newfound determination, I began to learn more about Ikenna's condition. Nelma and I spent hours researching, talking to experts, and seeking advice from support groups. As I delved deeper into the world of mental health, I began to see Ikenna in a different light. I realized that his illness was not his fault, that he was struggling to cope with his own demons. My newfound understanding sparked a sense of compassion within me. I began to see Ikenna not just as my husband, but as a person who needed my support and care. But just as I was starting to make progress, a new challenge arose. Ikenna's family, who had been supportive until then, began to exert pressure on me to perform my wifely duties. You need to take care of Ikenna, his mother said, her voice firm but laced with concern. You need to make sure he's okay, that he's taking his medication. I felt a surge of frustration. Didn't they understand that I was trying my best? Didn't they see that I was struggling to cope with the situation? But I took a deep breath and tried to explain. I'm doing my best, Mama Nkechi, but I need your support, not your pressure. I need to know that you're here for me too. Mama Nkechi looked at me, her expression softening. Amaka, we appreciate everything you are doing for Ikenna. We just want what's best for him. I nodded, feeling a sense of relief. I want what's best for him too. Let's work together to make sure he gets the care he needs. As I looked at Mankichi, I knew that I had found an ally. Together, we would face the challenges ahead, and we would find a way to make our marriage work. But little did I know another storm was brewing on the horizon, one that would test my resolve and my love for Ikenna. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I found myself growing stronger, more resilient. I had faced the challenges of Ikenna's illness head on, and I had come out on top. With the support of Neoma, Mama Nkechi, and the rest of Ikenna's family, I had learned to manage Ikenna's condition. I had learned to recognize the signs of an impending episode, and I had learned to intervene before things escalated. Ikenna too had grown stronger with his medication and therapy. He had begun to regain control over his life. He had started to rebuild his relationship with his family and friends, and he had even started to pursue his passions again. One day, as we sat together on our couch, holding hands and watching the sunset, Ikenna turned to me and said, Amaka, I am so sorry for everything you have had to go through. I am sorry for the pain, the stress, the uncertainty, but I want you to know that I am grateful for you. You've been my rock, my shelter, my safe haven. I don't know what I would do without you. I felt a lump form in my throat as I looked into Ikenna's eyes. I saw the sincerity there, the love, the gratitude, and I knew that I felt the same way. Ikenna, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I'm grateful for you too. You've taught me so much about strength, about resilience, about love. I don't know what I would do without you either. As we hugged each other tightly, I knew that our journey had been worth it. We had faced the impossible and we had come out on top. We had found love in the midst of chaos and we had made it work. And as we sat there, holding each other, watching the sun set, I knew that our love would last a lifetime. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts on this story. Until we meet again, stay blessed. I'll see you in our next story.